On a sunny afternoon, everyone is working hard, someone is pulling a cart, someone is digging, and a black rabbit is hitting the ground. All of them, including the bear, are working together to restore the fields on the ground that were damaged during the blue moon. Our hero looks at all this work and was pleasantly surprised to see that the piles of dirt that were piled up like hills disappeared in the blink of an eye. Being near a little bear and 2 rabbits, our guy decides that it is time to plant the seeds he was holding in his hand. Sejun plants the areca seeds and says that this morning, he has also harvested the rest of the corn and has also raised his level to 6. Sejun looks at his fields next to Daddy Rabbit and says that all he had to do was increase his dexterity to increase his speed, and he managed to plant all the peanut seeds in just a few hours. Moreover, there was a small change in the seed store. Sejun looks at the seed store and sees that new seeds have been added there, namely peanut seeds, which cost 5 tower coins. Besides, peanut is a good crop that can restore the fertility of the soil. So Sejun buys 1,000 peanut seeds for only 5 tower coins, as they grow well even in the harsh conditions on the ground. Now 1,000 peanut seeds were bought for 5 tower coins, and these coins were deducted from his account. In addition, Sejun accumulated 50 points for his mileage in the seed store, and in total, he had 106 points for his mileage in the seed store. And to move to the next level, 100 points for his mileage in the seed store will be deducted. Sejun was very surprised that he could increase his level. Now Sejun's level has been raised from beginner to commoner. The beginner level, for types of seeds, will be randomly shown, but the commoner level gives you as many seeds as you want, up to 5 tower coins of course, and also the first level seed store has been raised. But now the second level seed store can only be used after 30 days. Then Sejun receives a red and shining bag, and he was very happy that he is not a newbie but a commoner. Also, the number of types of seeds that can be bought has increased from 3 to 4. And Sejun is looking forward to using the next seed store. Sejun happily asks himself how many varieties of seeds he can buy, but our hero needs new kinds of seeds, and preferably more. Sejun sighs and looks at the remains of the corn, because the corn plant that they have collected only yields once, and then does not bear fruit. And then he thanks the little bear for the help he has given and strokes his head, which makes the little bear happy. Sejun and the other animals cut all the corn and moved it to the ground to cover the area around the field where the peanuts were planted. And all this was done just to prevent the moisture from evaporating because the sunlight shines all day long. Sejun sits on the ground holding the corn and thinks that by this method, he will be able to delay the irrigation period a bit, so that he can free up time to use labor elsewhere. Sejun separates the corn from the base so that he can plant it next time, and in the meantime, the system notifies him that he has received the corn seeds. His skill level has increased a bit, and he has also increased his seed collection skill, and all he has to do now is soak them in water for 1 day, and he will plant them tomorrow. But at the same moment, the little and so cute rabbits went into the bowl of corn seeds. But Sejun picked up the bowl of seeds and said that it was not to be eaten, but the rabbits looked at Sejun pitifully to let them taste it. Sejun asks the little bunnies, "You must be bored," because all the adults were busy working in the field, so there was no one to play with them. But suddenly Sejun gets a great idea. He starts rummaging through his bag and tells the baby rabbits to come over to him, as he will give them something fun to do. It turns out that what Sejun gave these rabbits are small bags and pouches, and Sejun thinks they look very cute, as if they were kindergarten kids. Sejun looks at the baby bunnies and asks them to tie these pockets as they walk, and also asks them to give a slice of carrot to each adult who is working hard, which the baby bunnies were very happy about, and they all set off. But one of them had already taken out all the carrots, so Sejun asks him to come back to fill the pouch with carrot slices again. And then with a cheerful smile on his face he tells the Power Pack team to go about their tasks, and immediately all the baby bunnies rush forward to give each adult a treat. In another scene, the baby bunnies treat all the adult bunnies to a tasty treat. Sejun, looking at all this cuteness, thinks to himself that he should talk to Theo to buy some cute clothes for the bunnies. In his head, he thinks that they would look like kindergarten kids, sailors, and maids. He thinks they would be adorable, and it's too bad he can't take pictures of them. The scene changes and we see a black minotaur walking through some wasteland. He wonders where is he. He talks about how his memory has been disabled because of the blue moon, but it must be around here somewhere, and then wonders why the captain ordered him to do this. And then someone calls out to our minotaur. It was a bull with a scar on his face asking a third bull about where he found this herb and this fruit. The minotaur is a little nervous asking this bull the question, "Did you get out of our territory?" and then says he didn't do anything like that and he lost all his memories because of the blue moon, so he has no idea what this is about. The bull with the scar is looking at this fruit. "Is it true? But I've certainly never seen one on my property." And then he decides to taste this fruit, because it smells very good, so he throws this fruit in his mouth. The scarred bull chews this fruit, and in the background the other bulls look at him and they drool, because the scarred bull eats this fruit very appetizingly. And when the scarred bull completely finished this fruit, he was delighted with how delicious it was. The scarred bull starts screaming with joy, because the more he chews it, the sweeter and tastier it gets. Also he feels much better, stronger and more powerful than before. Now we can see how the abs are standing out and about to jump out of his body. Now I want to go to the gym with this bull and of course work out. What do you think? Then, the scarred bull shakes and tells the third bull to find the place where the herb or the fruit was. And the bull just stands there nervously and doesn't know what the scarred bull is talking about. But the scarred bull says that the future of the Minotaur race is at stake. He tells the third bull to go on a quest with the honor of a warrior, and that's an order. And then the third bull realizes that if he can't find the place, the captain will beat him with his giant muscles, and he doesn't want that at all. The scene changes and we see a third bull, who says that this is the border between their wild territory and the forested area. He thinks about what he will do if he meets a red fur, although the bull does not think that he will fight at all, and after a while, this bull begins to smell a wonderful odor that passes near his nose. And then he goes behind a large boulder and what he sees there throws him into complete shock. As he looks ahead, this bull notices that there is grass everywhere, and on top of that, the ground is covered with grass that looks extremely appetizing, and we all know very well that this grass is actually corn leaves. This bull walks over, sits down on the ground and starts picking up the leaves and starts chewing them like nothing happened. And he truly realizes that it tastes insanely good, holding the corn leaves in his hands. As he continues to pick this grass, he wonders what kind of grass it is, but it doesn't matter to him at all. The main thing is that it's delicious and it's all his. Then when he has collected all the leaves, he goes away and says that the captain will be very pleased with him and maybe even praise him. And after a while, in the forest we see the huge eye of our big bear, who stands up and notices that something strange is happening, and at that moment the little bear falls to the floor. The big red bear starts to get angry, and the little bear doesn't understand what's going on, and so, when the big bear starts to lose his temper, his eyes start to burn pink, intending to go and find out what's going on there. Meanwhile, in another scene, a black dragon is drinking tea in his dwelling. He is at the hot springs in his cave and says that it used to be difficult for him because he was very small. And then he notices that there is a notification from the system. The message said that a big giant bear is calling the tower manager. But the black dragon starts to arise and asks how dare this bear disturb her chambers, and then asks what is the matter. And then carefully reads the message from the giant bear. The black dragon comes to shock at what the big bear just said to her. In another scene, we see our protagonist Sejun resting on a leaf and drooling from his mouth. And then he wakes up to a message from the black dragon Eileen. Sejun sees a message saying that the tower manager has told Sejun that a giant bear has found the footprints of another monster in the vicinity of the cave, and Sejun wonders, how come there is another monster? The big bear calls out to Sejun and our guy looks at him clearly puzzled. The scene changes and we see a devastated field with no seeds planted or leaves from the corn they have spent so long harvesting, and they all seem very saddened. Sejun asks frustratedly, what's the matter, looking at all the horror he sees. Sejun is holding his forehead and can't believe all the corn leaves he's been collecting for so long gone. In another scene somewhere in the mountains, we see our ginger cat calling out to people to notice him. Theo was already on 38 and he tells the people that he's finally back. But what will happen to Sejun and his animal friends? Will they follow in the footsteps of these bulls? Will they fight, or will they find a common language and Sejun will have a whole zoo? Be sure to follow the release of new videos on my channel if you want to see the continuation as soon as possible. I will be grateful to you for subscribing and also your like on this video. Thank you for watching. Be happy and healthy. See you soon and bye bye.